the topic.
Listening to you, yes, I'll stay. I'll stay within the topic. I'll just stay. I have Muslim friends, and anytime this discussion or this kind of discussion pop up, I have issues with how evidence are given or are presented.
Okay.
For me, yours look a little bit more clearer, but then it still doesn't solve the whole problem.
Okay.
Because if I should agree with you on certain point that let's make it a rule here that Jesus Christ is not God, Jesus Christ is among the prophets, and then we are debating from that category. Why is it that Jesus Christ cannot be compared to Moses? Is it because of your historical evidence? That is another fact.
That's if we assume he's a prophet of God.
If we assume that he's a prophet of God, because every quality that shows that someone is a prophet, Jesus Christ displayed more than that. Even based,
let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Even if you assume he's a prophet of God and not God, it will still not follow.
Let me try. You have talked a lot, so let me try and give maybe 2 points. Give me just 30 seconds and then.
Oh, no problem. No problem.
Yes, and this is what I'm trying to do. You made a historical evidence towards it, and then you make a biblical text showing that there will be a prophet because there is a prophecy, and then you made another assumption that prophecy does not entail name, just like in the name Emmanuel may not necessarily refer to Jesus Christ. So if we allude to that kind of point, what we mean over here is that there is also not necessary to also to Muhammad, because prior to that Joshua came in and made a salvation. Prior to that, Nehemiah also made the same thing. So it can be a concrete evidence proving. And relating to that, prophets were given signs and wonders during and after the Old Testament. Okay, during the transition. And the evidence that claimed that Muhammad is not all that quite good enough to show that he was really approved.
Not yes, I get your point. You know, what you have to do is, I want you to come back, tell me why you think Muhammad does not fulfill this. Don't assume. I know what you are doing. If I can get your point,
come back, I'm here. So
yes, that's what I'm saying. After I finish speaking, that's what I mean by come back.
Okay.
What I mean is, you are already assuming that Muhammad is not a prophet of God. Therefore, he cannot be the one being spoken of. But that's not how you make a discussion. Right now, you are neutral. Assuming. Yes, that's what you just said. You said because some of the. Can you allow me to speak?
I think you are taking out of context. Did I say that? You are taking out of context. Please, I beg you. I didn't make an assumption on Muhammad. I just make an assumption on only Jesus Christ to be a prophet. That was my statement.
You said because the criteria of being a prophet, he does not fulfill it. See, we've already assumed that. But he fulfilled it. This verse is to guide you on how to identify a prophet. So whether he fulfills it or not, it is from these verses that you are going to know. In fact, the verses goes on to say, and it shall come to pass. The verse goes on to say, it says, but the prophets we shall presume, it says, verse 21 rather, and if you say in your heart, how shall we know the word which the Lord has not spoken? How do you know if the prophet is actually a false prophet? When a prophet speaketh in the name of the Lord, if the thing follow not, nor come to pass, that is the thing which the Lord had not spoken. But the prophet has spoken it presumptuously, and you shall not be afraid of him. So in other words, this one even goes on to give us a criteria that you can use to identify this prophet. So you don't need to say a prophet does not fulfill any criteria. No, we don't know the criteria that you are using. But according to this verse, there is a criteria that is given here.
All right.
Okay. So and also, no, hold on. You talk about Joshua. We know it cannot be Joshua because Joshua did not give a law. How do we know that? Because you cannot talk about Moses and not talk about the law. Like that's what one of the things that distinguish Moses is the giving of the law and covenant. Joshua did not give any law and covenant. What Joshua simply did was to follow or to accomplish what Moses left. And even Jesus Christ too, if we take him as just a prophet of God, Jesus Christ too came and simply followed the law that was before him. In Matthew 5:17, he said, think not that I came to break the law of the prophets. I came not to destroy it, but to fulfill it. Verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass away, one tittle or one jot shall in no way pass away from the law till all be fulfilled. He said, not a single part of the law is going to be removed. So he confirmed the eternal validity of the law. according to Jesus Christ. So he simply followed the law of Moses. Are you getting my point? And in Matthew 23, he was telling his disciples, he said, the scribes and the Pharisees, they sit in Moses' seat. You will do well you must follow everything that they tell you to do, but you do not do after their works. For there are people who say and do not.
No.
So just also tell you to follow the law of Moses, but not like Prophet Muhammad, who brought a renewed law, just like Moses, and a renewed covenant.
Okay. Okay, now, good explanation. I want to know what are the law Muhammad presented. Give me one and let's base on it. Because you see, that's why I said earlier on that, please, I'm coming. That's why I said, you just give me 30 seconds, I'll let you do the talking. That's why I said that it's not like Muslims don't have the evidence. They have the evidence, but then the evidence is not convincing enough. For instance, you just made clear that Muhammad came and renewed the law, if I heard you rightly.
Yeah.
Now, if you look on that concept, it's also the same thing where someone also comes here and also renews something. Like Jesus Christ, he also have certain things. He made remediation or he made changes around it. So you see, the evidence is there. The evidence
that's not the only.
Please, I'm coming. The evidence does not really pinpoint that this is the true person. The reason why I introduced Joshua to it was that if you read the previous verses, he was talking about saviors or consaviors coming, and that's why Joshua name represents saviors. So that verse over there, what you use as a pinpoint criteria, cannot serve as the basis.
Which saviors are you talking about, bro?
I'm talking about Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 18.
Which verse you say he talks about saviors coming?
Come again, please.
Which verse you say he talks about saviors coming? Saviors or saviors?
I'm trying to say that the verse that shows that the prophet will be coming, there will be prophet unto. I'm just trying to paraphrase that Deuteronomy 18, not necessarily making a verse out of it. What I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to say is that now, if you tell me that this is it, if I tell you, that's why I made a clear assumption that if I say Jesus Christ is like unto Moses, then we should have a pen clear to it. Because if you tell me it's a remediation of the law, everybody can remediate the law and attach a spirit to it, and then we can call that person a prophet.
No, bro, Malachi, that is not the only thing mentioned in the verse. Let me respond to you, bro. Let me respond to you. The last point you mentioned.
I allowed you. I told you, give me just 30 seconds. I will just be done with it. If you want, okay, you talk. I think
the last point you mentioned about the idea is if I just come and just bring a new law, okay, and I claim to be that prophet, then maybe I'm that prophet, and it does not make sense. No, that's what we're saying.
Let's go to the original question.
Because
what law did Muhammad did? Yes, that's why you see. That's why I say it's not clear.
Malachi,
you see, these points are not clear.
Let me respond to it.
So if you,
Malachi, you're not allowing me to talk. Let me respond to it. It is very clear, like day and night. Like it is clear. The prophet brought a law just like Moses.
Am I off or is the host off?
I can hear you, bro. Prophet Muhammad brought a law just like Moses. There is law on if somebody commits murder, what you are supposed to do. If somebody commit adultery, what you are supposed to do. If somebody steal, what you are supposed to do. If somebody commit blasphemy, what you are supposed to do.
Am I off or the host is off?
Can anyone hear me? Can anyone hear me? I can actually hear you.
Yeah, okay. I can hear you, but this network, is it from my side? Close.
Yes, I think it's from your side. Your network right now on my screen is very low.
Is it my network?
Yes, your network is okay. Thank you very much.
Now let me.
Yes, Malachi.
Now,
Malachi, hold on. No, hold on. You know what, Malachi? Let me just give you my evidence. Let me just give you my whole evidence, because you think it's just one thing, and that's what I kind of feel that when people come up, they just pick up on one thing. No, look. I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren. So this thing, we believe from my reading of the text that this is going to be from among the brothers of the Israelites. That's number one. This person is going to be like Moses. That's number two. So it's like a description. So if you just say somebody come, he brought a law just like Moses, okay, but is that the only thing? Did he fulfill the rest of it? Was he from among the brothers of the Israelites? That's the second thing you are going to ask. Did God put his words in his mouth? Right, then, and also he says, but the prophet, I'm coming. When a prophet speaketh in the name of the Lord, if the thing follow not nor come to pass. So then that is the word that the Lord has not spoken. Then you check again, did this prophet make a prophecy about the future and it came to pass? All of these things, you are going to put it together. So if you now see somebody, a prophet, who came and he brought a law like Moses, this prophet was from among the brothers of the Israelites. This prophet spoke about so many things about the future, and those things came to pass. And this prophet, God punished those who did not believe in him, because the verse also says, and it shall come to pass that whosoever will not hearken unto my words, which he shall speak in my name, I will require it of him. According to some other versions, I will be the avenger. God is going to take revenge. This prophet is going to be in such a way that if disbelieve in him, is going to come with consequences. Now you put all of this thing together. Which prophet matches all of these criteria? And it's no other than Prophet Muhammad. It's not just one thing you pick up. I'm not picking up one thing. I'm saying I'm building my case on one thing. Yes, pick up all the points and build your case on it. Okay. And I feel, wisdom, hold on, please. And I feel, wisdom, hold on, please. Wisdom, please hold on. I know your network is good now. But hold on. And I feel the biggest evidence I said before, I've talked about the law. One of another big evidence is the fact that I mentioned that the Prophet Muhammad or his companion, is actually biblical language, that the companion, those who come from a particular king or a particular major spiritual figure, and whatever achievement they achieve is still taken back to that king or to that spiritual figure. So we are told, we know that historically the Muslims occupied the land all the way from River Nile up to the River Euphrates. Even till today, Muslims are the one occupying them. Jordan, Libya, Jordan, Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Iran, and some part of Turkey, from part of Egypt too. All of these places are occupied by Muslims. The same what the prophecy said elsewhere. I've mentioned it before, that this prophecy is also mentioned in Exodus chapter 20 and Exodus chapter 23. It's linked to it. It's linked to this prophecy, and it says that this messenger is going to bring the children of Israel. He's going to bring them to occupy this place of land, and historically it is the Muslims who occupy that places. So I'm bringing all of this evidence. I'm not just, again, I'm reminding you, I'm not picking on one thing. I'm building my case on it. I'm bringing all of the whole thing together. I'm saying no one matches it except Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him.
Can I come in now?
Yes.
Okay. You see, I know some of your Muslims brothers are like, I don't know what I'm saying, but let me make it so simple. This is what it means. If we stand on your main anchor verse, Deuteronomy chapter 18 verse 18, it says that
you've gone off. If you are off the screen, I cannot hear you, bro.
Prophet, and then he says that this prophet comes from their kinsmen. So from their kinsmen, that translation, it simply shows us that it's not talking about Muhammad, even from the base of the anchor of the verse, because kinsmen means that it is from the prophet who will be selected will not be outside of Israelite. So if he's not outside, if he's not outside and will be inside, then it disqualifies Muhammad even as a prophet. Because the kings, and if you think I'm lying, if you guys think I'm lying, you check from the previous last two verses, you will see that the explanation that was there, it has nothing to do with foreigners, it has nothing to do, even at that time, it was not even introduced to foreign nation to even accept God. And you see, the whole another concept is that if you claim that Muhammad, what you claim, the point that Muhammad is a prophet of God, the question lies down is that, is Muhammad serving the Jewish God? That's another whole thing also together. So you see, what I'm trying to say, it's not like I'm basing on one evidence or another evidence. The criteria that you set, my point of view, or from how I see it, majority can fit within the criteria. The redaction of the law doesn't mean it's an upgrading of the law. It doesn't mean it's a change of the law. You and I agree that because apart from Moses' law, nothing have changed. Muhammad didn't change anything critically. Just like Jesus Christ came and said it's fulfilled, because it came from the same thing. So if you are using the law as an evidence, then it can be a criteria for someone to be a prophet. And you see, from the kinsmen, for me, I think you have to look in that verse again, because from the kinsmen doesn't necessarily mean it's an outside. Because even God have called Muhammad in that kind of sin, it still will not fit criteria because he was talking to the people of Israel directly. This verse is more direct to the people of Israel, and that is why it doesn't match. And that is why they were expecting the Messiah. The Jewish people are expecting the Messiah, and the Jewish people are aware that it's not Muhammad they are expecting. And that's a clear fact because you won't even expect a Jewish person to believe you that the one who is like unto Moses is Muhammad. Even if we think we Christians are adamant, it doesn't work. So you see, Senior, I'm not trying to put a disturber. I want to also see the point that we are coming from. Not because we are so stubborn to admit your truth, but then the evidence is so low for us to even pick it up.
Okay.
I'm done, please.
Okay, thank you very much. I think you didn't respond to what I said about the Muslims occupying this land. You didn't mention it at all, which is very relevant to this.
Occupying the land doesn't mean the land belongs to the Jewish people.
No, you know what? Let me just show you something. Let me just tell you something.
Move away from it.
I'm going to.
You agree on that? We can check fact. You can fact check us. Guys are here. It doesn't necessarily mean that they gave the land back to the Jews. Is it what you're trying to mean, please? I'm not sure that's what you're trying to mean. They invited them to come and join and live with them. That was it. So it doesn't necessarily even fulfill
invited them?
that kind of prophecy.
Malachi, if you don't know what you're talking about, please just hold on about
please,
it.
Just tell us. I'm
So that one, if not responded to it, maybe you don't know the history. The point is, if God says something is going to happen like this, then there can be no other people that will be successful. Like, for example, in Muslim history, in Muslim history, Muslims have always known that the Prophet Muhammad spoke about Constantinople, and that he talks about the Muslims conquering Constantinople. Muslims all through, and of course, they will, every Muslim army that came forth after the Prophet Muhammad wanted to conquer Constantinople, right? Because the Prophet has spoken it. But simply because the Prophet has spoken it doesn't mean that if they now go and fight war, they are going to be successful and actually conquer it. No. So, but if they now fought and now actually conquered it, that means the prophecy has been fulfilled. So the point is simply knowing, okay, if God speaks something, that this thing is going to happen, some people are going to conquer for this region of land, then no other people can ever conquer that land except the one that God has destined to conquer it. If there are other people who conquered it before the main people who God actually wanted to conquer it, and that means the prophecy of God is not true, because the prophecy of God could be fulfilled by different people, but any prophecy can only be fulfilled by only one person. It is specific. So you cannot say God said that some people are going to occupy this land, and somehow in the future the Jews are still going to occupy it too. But for now, the Muslims have already occupied it. But the Muslims are not the one that God is talking about, because the Jews are going to do it in the future. No, then that means that's not a prophecy, because it could apply to different people then. But a prophecy is always specific. Once somebody fulfills it, then that is that person. It is that person God is speaking to. Let me come to what you actually address. You said he's talking about kingsmen. No, he doesn't talk about kingsmen. Deuteronomy 18 verse 18 says, I allow you to speak, bro. I allow you to speak. Well, just say what you want to say. What do you want to say? What do you want to say, bro?
Said, if my network is good, is it not better I say something before?
No, Wisdom, sorry, not you. Malachi, sorry. Wisdom, hold on, please. I'm coming to you. Malachi, are you the one who wanted to say something? Okay, seems it's not you. So, Deuteronomy 18:18 does not talk about kingsmen. That is the translation. The actual Arabic, he says, Ahihim, their brothers. So that is the actual Hebrew. Did I say Arabic? The actual Hebrew says Ahihim. It is their brothers. So that is, we know that the actual Hebrew actually says that.
To me.
Hello, bro. Are you following? Why am I feeling that nobody is listening to me? So the actual Hebrew actually says Ahihim, their brothers. It doesn't say kinsmen. What you are looking at is a translation that tells you now it's not a kinsman or from amongst them. But the real Hebrew actually says Ahihim, from their brother, Kamoka, like you, Moses. Okay. Then you now said this. I only jotted 2 points from what you said, which is you have an objection with kinsmen, and you have an objection if Prophet Muhammad is serving the Jewish God. Yes, Prophet Muhammad is serving the same God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He himself said it. The Quran said it, right? But that's not all. Even the Jews agree that we are serving the same God. It's gone. It's gone, bro. Even the Jews agree that we are serving the same God. So in other words, Christians are only bringing this objection, right, from your own if a Christian believe that we are not serving the same God, it is from your own theological viewpoint. But the Jews whom God is speaking to believe that we are serving the same God. In Isaiah chapter 43 verse 10, God Almighty says, "You are my witnesses, the children of Israel, they are the witnesses of God, that there is no God besides me, no God formed before me or after me." So, and the Muslims, so God Almighty is saying that we should take them as a witness. So if anybody comes and preaches another God that the children of Israel do not know, they cannot testify that this is the same God that their forefathers worshipped, then that means that is false. So according to the Old Testament criteria, we should check the knowledge of the Jews. If the Jews testify that, you know what, any new person who comes to preach is preaching the same thing, or is talking about the same God that their forefathers preached, that means this is true. And today the Jews actually agree that we worship the same God as them. It's only Christians who, from their own theological lens of the Trinity, by the way, this same Trinity, it will be paganism to the Jews. This whom God has taken as his witness, it is paganism to the Jews. So that's it. Again, remember, you did not answer my question about the land that will be taken. And also, I want the audience to know how, when he came up, he is willing to say, let's assume that Jesus Christ is a prophet of God. I wanted to say that. And the reason is because it is very, very obvious that you cannot say Jesus Christ.
Because my network is getting bad. So if my network is okay, can I just speak now?
Okay, speak now.